Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is the infamous telephone call, right? That's the infamous telephone call. Fair use. Salute to my sister DW tapping in right now. Gunshot for DW, ladies and gentlemen. Gunshot. Now, that's the infamous call, yeah, that led to a bunch of other events that took place that night. Okay? But you saw how quick she played Karen. She played Karen. OJ, is my understanding. Listen, OJ, the brother wasn't even really there. He got upset and he kind of rolled off after that.
Okay, I have a concern because this thing happened 30 years ago.
Right.
And people forget a lot of things 30 years later when it comes to O.J. Simpson. People, there are a lot of things people don't remember. First and foremost, let me start off by saying I was never an O.J. Simpson fan. I always couldn't stand O.J. And if I introduce you to one of my very, very best friends, I called him in 1989 or no 1990, and I told him that OJ Simpson, there was a picture. OJ Simpson is in a Jet magazine from either 89 or 90. It's a photo of the week, and he's literally almost pulling Nicole Simpson by her arm like a cat dragging a mouse that's caught.
Mm.
I didn't buy the Jet magazine, but I was disgusted. And back then, we didn't have cell phones. I remember being so angry, I couldn't wait until I got home to get on my phone and call my friend in Oakland, California, and say, you know what? OJ Simpson has ditched his black wife, who was good to him, who was with him when he was a broke college athlete. And he's got some young white girl, possibly low income type. And I says, it's not going to go well. She's going to end up dead in a few years. I hope he doesn't do it, although he might. I said this in 1989 or 90. I think it's 90. And I says, just keep your eyes on OJ. This isn't going to work out well. I forgot about it. Segue to 30 years ago, the summer or thereabout. I get a call from California, same person. And he's screaming, you were right. You were right. He says, what are you talking about? OJ. And my response is FOJ. You know, I can't stand him. Coon, idiot. And he says, no, OJ, he's killed his wife, just like you said he might. And I says, come on, man. I said that. I forgot. He says, yeah, you called me 4 years, 4 years ago, and you told me OJ's gonna kill his wife. Now he's a suspect for killing his wife, and he's in his white Bronco. Turn on your TV. So I turn on the TV and I see OJ in the Bronco. And it's like, oh my God. Oh my God. My first thing was this self hating, jealous Negro murders this young white girl that he cheated with probably on his wife, and it didn't work out. His money, whatever, she got bored with him, or he wasn't freaky, or whatever it is. And so my initial thing is OJ did it. Again, I walked into this with the bias that I couldn't stand OJ Simpson. How about that? I can't stand OJ Simpson. I never liked OJ. Period. So my first thing is OJ did it. Bastard. But this is 1994. The trial took place in 1995. In 1995, I was working for the NewsHour with Jim Lehrer, or PBS NewsHour, right? And because of that, you watch court TV, I watched the whole damn trial, all the stuff over and over and over and over again. And because of that, I have a very strong memory of what happened. One of the things why OJ did what he did on this specific tape, if you hear OJ yelling, what OJ is yelling about is that Nicole was having sex in front of the children and using drugs.
Mm.
That's what set OJ Simpson off.
No.
So the media, I get it. Yes, he knocked the door in and all of that. Wrong. But if I'm paying, you're living in a mansion, I'm giving you all this money, and you've got children, my children as well, and you're having sex and doing drugs with adults in front of my children, that just might make somebody angry. And no one says it like I just said it. The white wife he had was screwing adults in front of minor children. That's child abuse. It's exposing the children potentially to molestation. That's what Nicole Simpson was doing. Remember what I said. I came into this with a I hate OJ mindset. OJ did it. OJ's nothing. OJ dogged out his black wife. F him. Okay, that's how I was looking at it. But as I watched the doggone trial, as much as I still can't stand OJ. I ended up saying, she's a wild freak too. So you need to understand what's called the Brentwood hospitality greeting, where when a male would spend the night in her home, he would wake up to Nicole Simpson sucking his penis. Not just OJ, and I'm not trying to just. I need to remind people that Nicole Simpson, while she's living off of OJ and her family's living off of OJ, is going through hundreds of thousands of dollars in cocaine.
Oh no.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars in cocaine. And having all kinds of parties and all, as they do. And Nicole Simpson is having lesbian relationships with Faye Resnick. This is something I need to say, and I don't care how people take it. A big part of this O.J. Simpson thing, why they're giving O.J. Simpson, who I can't stand, such a horrible review, is to hide something in clear view that nobody's willing to say. First, let's be clear. Kato Kaelin, the soft porn star that lived in O.J. Simpson's house, is Jewish. Faye Resnick, in a mafia-aligned, crooked Jewish family, the Resnicks, is Jewish. Ron Goldman, the alleged callboy, male prostitute, gigolo, who was killed with Nicole Simpson, Jewish. And many other people in this thing are in this ethnic group. Please don't blame me. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy. I'm only telling you that you have a multiplicity of people from a specific ethnic group in here. And there's dirt. Faye Resnick, the lesbian lover of Nicole Simpson, ran up in a matter of a few months $500,000 in cocaine debt. They snorted that much cocaine that she bought. I don't know how much Nicole did. That's $500,000. What is it, about $750,000 to $1 million worth of cocaine in today's money, if not $1.5 million that she snorted up.
Oh no.
And having sex parties and doing all of that. Now, if you I live in DC, a city full of drug addicts. We have like the highest rate of opioid deaths for blacks in the country. My parents worked in drug rehab. I've never used, I've been drugs everywhere. I live in a neighborhood that's transitioning to gentrified. Used to be when the drug, it was like Fort Apache for DC. Okay. Dope everywhere. And I'm saying to you, if you owed someone as little as $20 for drugs and you had not paid, you could get yourself hurt. If I owed people hundreds of thousands of dollars for cocaine and other drugs that I did not pay, if OJ cut off paying for her dope money, then it's reasonable to believe that someone would put a hit to get their drug money. Why did Faye Resnick flee? And she could go safely to where her family, and by the way, it's believed that someone connected to Faye Resnick was a person that was helping to get drugs for Joe Louis. Just saying. Alleged. The Resnicks are a mafia family. No one's ever mentioned this. It just never, ever, ever. How come they didn't get Faye Resnick? How come they just got Nicole? Why hasn't anyone talked about this? They've never shown pictures of how the woman was killed. Why is it that there's a way that people ritually murder people that you've never had a Black American that's committed a murder slice Ron Goldman and Nicole Simpson like they got sliced? Okay, say OJ's a suspect, but why were these people slaughtered in a way that's almost ritualistic? And if OJ was a murderer, okay, you mean all of a sudden this one time he does this ritual murder on two people? I'm not trying to make him innocent. There's another thing I need to remind people. That Bronco that he was riding in, the police impounded. Do you mean to tell me when they arrested OJ and they took his Bronco that the blood that's on the dashboard, they didn't see the blood? It would have been fresh. Why didn't they see the blood? And that's something I would have noticed. I got you out of the car. I would have been looking. You know, people would check a car for evidence. Weren't they looking? You mean you left an unguarded car on the police lot, but you didn't check for evidence of homicide with that much blood? They didn't search the car?
Come on.
I mean, that blood wasn't, it's interesting, there's just blood on the dash, but if you've seen the pictures on Brentwood, there's blood all over the ground. Right. How did OJ not have track blood into the vehicle? It should have been there. Like I said, I came into this thing saying, I hate OJ. Yeah, he did it. I don't care if he's Black. And the more I watched, it says, damn, I've got to be on this bastard side. Oh, I was so angry that I was hoping they'd get him. But they didn't have a case. Because I'm saying to me, you mean there's just drops of blood on the dashboard? It's just small drops. It should have been not... when you have small drops, it meant that you had almost something like a test tube or something that could let drops out. Blood is messy.
Come on.
How'd you get convenient drops? It's almost like you had a dropper and you did it with something that's precision to get almost replica sized drops. Wow. And let's do better. What was in the blood drops and the smeared blood and all in the Bronco? Blood preservative that only law enforcement and intelligence agencies have. No human being could exist with that toxic substance in their blood. So, yes, you found blood, but it's blood that had the blood preservative that obviously law enforcement put in it, which means that the blood evidence and the DNA and all of that, you took OJ's blood. He agreed to let you have his blood. You put blood preservative in it, and then you took his blood and dripped it in his house and in his car. Okay, that's what you did. You had his shoes. You took his shoes when you rest, and now his shoes have some blood on it. But shouldn't those Ferragamo shoes prints been in the car? Shouldn't have been some blood prints when he went over the back wall? But there's just all the things for the story that the police, that this racist Mark Fuhrman, at least make it fit. You can frame someone, but they did a very sloppy job.
Right.
They had and we've had an epidemic of forensic scientists who've been Asian, who fraudulently manufactured data in particular to indict blacks all over the country. The one that cooked it to get OJ was embarrassed by a very gifted Jewish attorney that made a fool. I think his name was Fung, the Chinese guy, made him look like a goddamn fool. The real thing, the main thing that linked OJ to the crime was the blood preservative rich blood. And that's what they didn't say over the news. I had that blood. He couldn't have existed. Where did he get the blood? Did he inject himself with the blood preservative when he was in the Bronco? So I'm sorry for all the little stupid racists out there who hate so much until they think that black people walk around with police blood preservative chemicals in their blood because we're an inferior species. Good luck with your ignorant fantasies. No one can exist with blood preservative in their bloodstream. It would kill them. O.J. Simpson wouldn't have been healthy enough to kill Ron Goldman or Nicole Simpson. And so the case solved. The trial should have been thrown out. But it wasn't thrown out because there was a desire to do something, and a lot has been done with the trial. I'm just saying, with the blood itself, the glove didn't fit, all this other kind of stuff, man. There were things that Judge Lance Ito, the Japanese judge who's married to the white woman, who's trying to prove himself, all kinds of stuff that he did to try to help. They never had a case. A brutal murder took place. O.J. Simpson had hit Nicole Simpson. But let's just remember, if you walk into your house and you find your ex screwing a man doing drugs in front of your kids, that might make somebody mad, especially if you're paying all kinds of money to take care of this woman and you think she's going to be a mother to your kids. I want to ask anybody listening, if you were paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in alimony to a former spouse, and they had custody of the kids, and they were openly having sex in front of adults and using drugs, and when you caught them, they came and mouthed off at you and you slapped the shit out of them. To me, that's almost tame. Not that I want anybody hitting anybody. I'm just thinking I could probably lose it. Because if that's what's going on when you walk in, what do you let these people do? If you've passed out on coke, what might they do to your children?
Come on. Come on.
Right? You're there for sex, they're high too. Just sit down and think about that. So, as I said, I'm not an OJ Simpson fan. Never was. Always couldn't stand him. But I watched the trial. I looked at Mark Furman, looked at how they did everything they could to hide the Mark Furman information. And it got out. It's just, I mean, you have a person that goes around and just declares their hatred and their desire to destroy Black people. And he's the star witness with all this evidence. And you've got Van Adder, remember Detective Van Adder, who goes to O.J. Simpson's house with vials of blood that he's stolen from the police department. He had no authority to take O.J. Simpson's blood out of wherever it was being safe kept. And he shows up at O.J.'s house to talk to him with O.J. Simpson's blood in his pocket. And the blood that's found in O.J. Simpson's rug, the little drops, it too has blood preservative. Well, how did blood with blood preservative get in the Bronco that was in the police custody? How did O.J. Simpson's blood miraculously get discovered after Van Adder, with the blood preservative in it, get found in O.J. Simpson's house only after Van Adder went to visit? Why did they need to check his house again if they already checked before? Something like blood and dogs, they should have caught it the first time around, like they should have found it in the Bronco. But even had they found it, it has blood preservative in it. There's a direct link between the blood that the police collected and Van Adder and O.J. Simpson's house. Come on, people! It's 30 years later. I was thinking, y'all don't have a case. You took the evidence room blood to the man's house, even if he didn't leave a drop. That's some real sick, macabre stuff. You hate that much? I mean, you're that zealous about your job, you're walking around with another man's blood that you're not supposed to have, that you had no right to have. You violated laws and policies within the law enforcement agency for which you draw a check. How is he credible? Why wasn't he prosecuted? Why wasn't Mark Furman prosecuted when they found out all this racial stuff that he was saying and what he wanted to do? And why weren't people that were the victims of Mark Furman brought into court to testify about his history of brutality in the community? Which could be a real motive to say that this guy's a racist. If you hate that much, and he's with a white woman too, and that's a big obsession with racist people, interracial relationships and marriage, and OJ had a reputation for beating on this woman, right? So it's a black man beating a pure white woman with blonde hair. Why wouldn't a white supremacist, as a champion of his people, not want to take this gorilla subhuman ape down? I get it. And nobody was talking like me on television back then. So we're not dealing with it. Marcia Clark, a 3-time loser. She lost practically every major case that she got. And they lost this one. And in reality, the people, they didn't really have a case. And OJ Simpson, clearly, if you're still visiting your ex and you're jealous, it's OJ still had feelings for his white woman. If he got upset that she had boyfriends, that's not necessarily the love that kills. That's like the love that maybe we could get back together. Somebody's writing a note. It was all over drugs. I agree. Nicole Simpson, Ronald Goldman owed money to drug cartel. The Colombian drug, the executions of these people resemble the Colombian executions. This is correct. And it's correct. OJ would not pay the dope tab for Nicole and Goldman. They know this, but you have to understand by exonerating OJ Simpson, you implicate Hollywood and Las Vegas decadent GCPs. Marcia Bynum, I've said it, if you're listening, listen. The police department uses blood preservative in their labs. Okay, we don't have to be geniuses. Human beings' bodies don't produce blood preservative, which means someone has to create the chemicals and things to preserve blood. They add that to maintain the blood so they can use it as evidence. The blood preservative came from the Los Angeles Police Department. They never had a case. They did not want to go after the mafia. And it's just as sure if you've been looking at the news this week, the Los Angeles Police Department is totally infiltrated by Latin American gangsters. So it's completely corrupted. It's even more so now than what it was 30 years ago. The Los Angeles Police Department was full of Nazis and white supremacists. If you remember that there was a Mayor Yorty, if I'm correct, for Los Angeles, and Daryl Gates, these people deliberately recruited white supremacists to be on the law enforcement of California. Let us remember 59 years ago, after the Watts Rebellion, look the ingredient up. It's 30 years, Marcia. I don't remember 30 years later the name of it. You'll find it. Everybody's got Google. Just look. Don't expect me to know everything, but I'm right. I'm absolutely clear that I'm right, and I'm not going to try to find it now. The blood preservative is there. It's EDA, something like that. Whatever it is, I don't remember. I don't want to get it wrong. Someone look it up and put it up there and post it. So let me go back and say that with the Watts riot, what came out of that? Los Angeles led the way with the Special Weapons and Tactics, SWAT. SWAT was put up to have urban warfare against blacks or others. So Los Angeles is on the spear tip of forming urban warfare against blacks and others. And the brutality of the Los Angeles Police Department has been documented all the way back to the Zoot Suit riots. And there's even a jazz song called, I think it's called Central Avenue Breakdown. And it's a song talking about the police killing blacks in Los Angeles. Now, that's just what it is. And we also know back when O.J. Simpson went through this thing, Los Angeles was literally going broke, paying out legal settlements for killing and beating and brutalizing people, not just blacks. They were beating up the Samoans, beating up Latinos, just beating up everybody. I think one of the chiefs of police back then was Bratton, who was in New York. These people literally used the police as a force of terror and intimidation. There is a very good documentary called Fire This Time, and you should look it up. Rhino made the film. I don't have a copy, but it's known that the Los Angeles police would begin literally attacking black male children as early as the age of 5. When you have that kind of history, you're not credible. When your city's going broke because you have to keep paying because the police keep shooting and beating. There was one case where the police went and beat up a whole family of people that were Samoan at a wedding. Go to the wrong house and beat up people, knock at the door, beat the wrong people, half kill people, and it's the wrong house. And get mad that people don't want to get beaten half to death because you kicked in the wrong door. O.J. Simpson, so the people in that jury, what they were really angry about is that nobody believed the lie of the police. It's too bad people weren't thinking when it came to COVID, Obama, or Biden. There are a lot of things. The public has become a lot dumber in the last 30 years.
Well, let me spin it like this then, Brother Dr. Short. And you know what? Salute to that cook-up. That's a solid cook-up. Gave us a lot to consider there. And I want to go to my brother Q. Brother Q from Let's Talk 2. Sir, those findings, first and foremost, that Brother Dr. Short laid out. Let's touch on that a bit. The Bronco, the forensic files, things like that.
And this, it's a point Dr. Short eloquently put, and I'm glad that he's here, and this is always his show and your creation. And sometimes, like he said, sometimes we may forget details, but the key component to what Dr. Short was saying was at that time, Barry Scheck was doing his job.
Yes, he's the one that made Fung look like a fool over the DNA.
People need to understand that Barry Scheck is the #1 DNA trial attorney in the country back then. Like I said, if you look him up, you Google Barry Scheck, Innocence Project, I think that's the name of his group. They've been getting countless brothers home from jail for DNA. So this case propelled him, but even back then for legal minds, they knew who he was, and he understands DNA from a law standpoint probably better than anybody. It proved, like Dr. Short said, if you got a preservative that it's put in blood so you could get DNA, the only people that have this preservative are crime labs.
Come on.
So if I test this blood and I find this preservative in the blood, then that means the blood came from a crime lab.
That's right. And who got blood from O.J. Simpson? The police asked O.J. Simpson as a courtesy. Instead of having his lawyer consult, O.J. figured, I haven't done anything. Let me prove to these people that I'm innocent. Sure, take the blood. And they took the blood, put the stuff into it, and set him up with the blood that he gave to prove that he would work with the police.
And they were so corrupt, that they doubled back and took the tainted blood, the blood that was already had the preservatives in it, back to the crime scene.
Crime scenes. So they did it twice.
Yes, they tried so hard. When you look at a case, they say the evidence produces the suspect. When you're dealing with a violence case, the evidence produced the suspect. They tried so hard to make OJ the killer that they were fumbling over each other's planning of evidence.
Come on.
And not only that, they did other things like said that O.J. Simpson washed the blood off, but there was no blood in the pipes. At least, I mean, the blood would have still been in certain things. It would have been inside the gutters. They didn't have that. They wanted that so badly. Look, I get it. Let me remind you, I can't stand OJ. My thing is get him, get him. And then it says, oh my God, he's innocent. As I said, I'm prejudiced against OJ. To, and in fact, I remember where I was sitting in Shirlington, Virginia, when OJ Simpson was fully acquitted. I was waiting for him to be guilty. I nearly fell out the chair when they did nothing. No charge? How? I think a black man, 2 dead white people, Los Angeles, surely they'll do something. When they let it, I had to literally walk off work. I couldn't believe it. My mind was blown. Not that they hadn't proven that the people had no case, but they worked so hard to set OJ up. Remember, they were very angry with the jury. They attacked the jury after the trial, started calling them stupid. They called it jury nullification. They made it out that these were some illiterate, evil people. They never, ever explained reasons as to why the jury would have reached a conclusion that the police didn't have a case against OJ. It's interesting, you had another trial not too long before for Rodney King. And in the case of Rodney King, I remember the words of the white woman on the jury. Rodney King was controlling the action. That's as he's being tased and beaten by multiple officers. Rodney King was in charge. They never questioned the jury in Simi Valley, never said that they were stupid or they were ignorant or it was jury nullification, because the police, who were brutal, who were known for being a goon squad, were exonerated. They wanted the same sort of thing to happen to OJ, and it didn't happen. Remember that the Los Angeles Police Department had lost Marsha Clark, tried to get the McMartin family. There were a series of cases that whole lost.
And for the people in the chat who love law, who love to do research, if he would have got found guilty for this farce of a trial, there's a thing in legal circles called fruit of the poisonous tree. Look it up. You can look at case law. It should not have been a trial, you guys. Like it's really sad when you look back at it 30 years from now and look at what was being presented. That OJ, you know what OJ was guilty of? He lost in the media. He did not lose in that courtroom.
And OJ was also guilty of not trusting his attorneys. Him thinking that he could be a good darky and give up his blood to people. On top of that, they felt like the little cut that OJ Simpson had on his finger was evidence of a struggle for life. You mean you fought a grown man and you get a little nick on your finger and that's a life or death struggle? You know what? Being a racist has to be like being on some psychotropic drug. The other thing is, isn't it interesting? Listen, let me give you some contradictory thing for the stupid, liar, dumbass Los Angeles cops. You want us to believe that OJ Simpson had on these very good leather gloves. And yet, as he's wearing these leather gloves, you want us to think that somehow those leather gloves had no cut in it. You mean someone stabbed OJ in his finger through the glove, but the glove itself didn't have a slash in it too? In order for something to cut his flesh, it would have had to have gone through the leather on the glove that didn't fit his hands. Are you understanding me? The other issue is, and this is what's really interesting, they said that those were the bloody gloves that were used to kill those two people.
Mm.
Even then, they should have been able to get traces of O.J. Simpson's blood, or should have been able to get something, hair or something from O.J. Simpson inside of that glove. The only thing they had were gloves, and since he had his hands, they hadn't been amputated, they were hoping that that glove would fit. You know what's interesting? They said that O.J. Simpson had on these Italian shoes. Why didn't they have O.J. Simpson also try the shoes on? Since they said that those shoes were right. Remember that? They never had O.J. Simpson try on the shoes. They said they were his. To me, if the glove didn't fit, maybe the shoes fit.
Come on.
Why didn't they try the shoes? Again, I can't stand O.J. Simpson. I was thinking of ways to nail his ass, and, and I kept getting disappointed. I kept getting disappointed, saying they don't have anything. I can't stand him, and he's a piece of crap, and this, that, and he beat the hell out of his wife. And the other thing, they had A.J. Cowens testify against O.J., but A.J. Cowens more than likely had had sex with Nicole Simpson. What you look like, he may have at least, or he won it. You have fantasies or actually got involved with your guy's lady because they were swingers. And then you're in court testifying against OJ, and you're his best friend. And 30 years later, he hasn't put out any kind of book or done interviews. You wonder why? I can tell you something. If he said something, he would get busted. Because AJ had to know something about the parties that went on in that house. People knew that the freaky stuff went there. They have orgies and stuff in these houses in California. Sure, they do. Eyes wide shut. So this was a drug thing that went bad. Beverly Hills is a heavily, heavily GCP community. And one of the people, GCP, was slaughtered horrifically. And they probably never wanted OJ in their neighborhood in the first place.
There you go.
And so this was about removing someone that they never wanted around in the first place. Your money and your fame can't make you acceptable to bigoted people who see you as a subhuman being. Although I'm certain for generations to come, we're going to have black people or whatever they call themselves trying to be accepted in quarters where they're not wanted, where they are hated. And your money, as the Beatles says, money can't buy me love. And I'll change it to money can't buy white love. Can't buy white love. Love. No, no, no. No, no, no. Da 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 da. No, you think you're white. You sell out cooning all the time, thinking things gonna be all right. I don't care how much you worship money. Money can't buy white love. Money can't make people like you. Money will not make you as an individual equal. If we are wealthy as a group, we have a better chance. But money won't buy white love. It won't buy it for Kanye. It won't buy it for Shitty or Gazy or Ofaga or Al Shaton or any of these people. What will get you at least respected is that you have dignity, integrity, and that your group is down for a fight to survive. bring on some other panelists. But I like
Well,
that. Come on, y'all.
Here's what we got, sir. I got something. I got a small little intermission going into the next thing here. And it starts with America's Sweetheart. Look at this one. This is yeah. Go ahead, keep singing, brother Doctor. I see you froze up when I put America's Sweetheart
with the blonde wig on. Let me tell you something. I'll believe that you're serious when folks start dyeing their pubic hair blonde, sisters. When you dye your pubic hair blonde, I'll believe that you're legit when you have a blonde wig on. It's your hair, the hair on your head should match it in your drawers. If one is one color and something else, you're a phony.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if we get into the final subject matter, here's a little small amuse. Now, your girl, Glow Ritter. Now, you got to keep in mind, this is the girl that did last year, well, in the beginning of your president's term, they was rolling out your girl, Cardi B. They had a whole
What does the B stand for? I have a suspicion.
I would say bust down.
No, I thought bitch, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that was, I didn't want to go there that quick. But, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the girl that's meeting with your president, sitting down with your president, okay? And now she's getting caught with DUIs, pissing on herself, doing all type of wild shit. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this track.
Well, but you know what? She's in good company if she pees on herself. He poops on himself. Maybe they should get together and form an act. And let me just say this, guys. This gentleman, TG, is talking about the Democrats or the Democrats. And I say niggercrats. I don't care. Yes, I said it. Don't you like that, niggercrats? I'm sick and tired of, and what happened in Los Angeles is Democratic government. Everything was Democratic, and they tried to railroad them. And the same as then as now, we need to go in a different direction as a collective. And this stuff will continue to happen. And as I said to someone, if my butt is itching, it's nobody white's fault. Either I'm going to wipe it or get used to the discomfort. When are we going to start taking stock of where we are? Okay, it's not like I don't see. I was on the phone all day talking to Republican people, trying to pull something off here because they let all kinds of stuff is going on. But at the end of the day, it's left to us to make a decision of either we're going to survive or we're not going to survive. And we won't make it. In fact, I'm going to say this of OJ. The scriptures say the wages of sin is death, and they were living very wicked, sinful lives. OJ, Diddy, Gacy, all of these people come from sometimes humble origins, and their goal is to have lots of crazy interracial sex and do lots of drugs and be filthy and be high and drunk, not build institutions or schools or do things that are creative, that are noble, that are uplifting, but to just live lives as wastrels. That's what these people aspire, and this rap music and other stuff has been pointing our people in the path of degeneracy and genocide. And so O.J. Simpson, Diddy, and everybody like him, even this little whore that you got up here, sir, that was with Biden, and they surround themselves with filthy Black people. And yes, we have filthy Black people. If there's white trash, there's got to be some Black trash. I'm a witness. Sir, witness for my Lord, I'm a witness.
We're going to play the track for him. So let's go ahead and check it out because, again, she has influence, unfortunately.
You mean she has sinfluence?
Hofluence. Hold on.
Carla, it's Ronnie, please. So the reason I pulled you over today is because you made a U-turn at a red light. Yes, taking me to walk out this way and it took me there.
And it took you over there? Okay, so do me a favor so we can get out of this roadway. I'm gonna need your driver's license. I'm gonna go back to my car. I'll flash my lights at you. Whenever I do that, or whenever these cars pass us, I want you to turn into this turn lane over here, okay? And just stay right there for me. Are you drinking tonight?
I'm not going.
Okay, so I can smell it from the breath. Okay. All right, when you hold down the window. Okay?
Yeah.
So, in a few minutes, I'm going to have another officer come over here, and we're going, if you're willing, I'm just going to ask you a few questions, okay?
Okay.
All right, how many drinks did you have today?
I'm cool. Yeah, I ain't drunk enough.
How many drinks did you have now?
I'm okay.
That's not my question.
I'm okay, I'm telling you.
Simple. Sam?
I'm okay.
Not only can I smell alcohol coming from your breath, but I can also smell marijuana coming from this car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? In just a moment, I'll be searching this car. Is there anything that I'm going to find in this car?
A sex toy.
Rich is my name.
Okay. Okay, where is it from at? It's okay, you don't have to reach for it. Where is it?
Yeah, it's in the car.
Where is it?
In the car.
Yes, ma'am. May where at?
It's in
Just
my
for my
back seat.
safety. Okay.
Yeah, it's in my back seat.
Where is it? Like in a bag or?
No, it's just in the back.
Okay. All right. Then you need marijuana.
No, because you still gonna pick on me. You don't matter who I am.
Pick on you. I'm not picking on you. You're
Because
driving and I can smell alcohol off your breath.
But I'm not drunk. I can tell you this. I can promise you that I did. But
Oh God.
This stuff annoys me, y'all.
Well, feminism annoys
These-
me.
These are the people who are constantly rolled out, and somebody, I gotta be honest. I'll be honest with y'all. When I was younger, anytime these Democrats rolled these people out, these famous folks, I would act as if I made it. So,
But where
I'm
did
just
you make it? Where were you making it?
well, this is why I say what I'm. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying, Brother Short. For me, the victory was seeing them have something because I was told that it means something,
Mm-hmm.
not it actually meaning anything for me or my community.
Do you know that's kind of pornographic? It's like sort of black social porn. You're watching someone else have sex. You're imagining you being inside the ugly druggie that has to sell their body on video to get drugs. And so you're getting off to someone else. We're pornographically looking at these filthy, no good, trashy, fake, untalented black celebrities. And it's pornographic thinking, wow. See, if you're eating lobster there in Jersey, it doesn't fill my belly. The same way porn is illogical to me. I mean, I'm not feeling you if you're on top of somebody. Why would I want to see something I can't do? You get where it's pornographic, it's voyeurism. It's a world of make-believe and phoniness that drives this whole black celebrity cult of worship. It's nasty, it's dirty, it's empty. I hate it. I wish it would all burn up. As I said, I have a fantasy about being dictator of Black America. Man, I would arrest almost all the celebrities, all the ones that had blunts and stuff on television. I mean, drink tramps would be shut down, or I'd be making those niggas drink Perrier. I know they would be miserable having to drink regular water. They'd probably dehydrate all the filth that they're doing. Man, I would have so much fun. Oh my God, I know how to get people to stop liking basketball. You know why? You'd force people to have to read a book before they could come to a basketball game. The NBA would be gone the week because nobody, I ain't read nothing. I can't read anyway. Man, well, I'm going to play. They'll be watching the Latinos play soccer.
Well, ultimately, Brother Dr. Short, the reason I bring that up is because, if at that time, a younger guy, I would believe that things are changing for us as a younger man. I can only imagine that now they roll out these type of folks, and they have the same mindset. This means progress for us because it's told, especially depending on what kind of you're coming from. And there's no real impact, solid influence on your life. And then you could even come from a decent environment, but if you got a bunch of vote blue no matter who's in your family, it's gonna always come off like bullshit. Well, at least come off as the right thing to do when it's always been very detrimental to you and your community, regardless of what's going on. So this is the detriment of she's popular, just like a Sexy Red.
Mm-hmm.
These are the people who have cameras around them all the time.
You know who else had cameras around them all the time that was popular? Hitler. Being popular, having cameras. I'm so tired of this. God, I'm just tired. Why these people don't matter? Let me share with you. You know how you matter? When you do something that helps people, that's uplifting, and that's when you have problems. I mean, these DUIs and other stuff, to me, that DUI would have been better had they that woman manhandled her and grabbed her by her weave and all, did like a Sandra Bland situation. That would be very helpful to her. The fact that she got treated well with a lot of respect when she was in the wrong sent her the wrong message. If she got yoked like somebody down in Mississippi, she'd think about driving drunk again. Not that I want people to get their behinds beat, but I guess some people, maybe they need that. I don't want that to be. I don't want police putting their hands on people, but we've got a lot of wayward people. I took the bus this week and I was amazed here in DC. People don't pay to get on the bus anymore. They just walk on. I mean, I'm trying to pay. Thing wouldn't take my damn money. Not that I wanted to pay, but that's what you do. If you ride, you pay. And then people just getting on the bus. There's a whole lawless streak in our community. I would tell anyone we cannot carry 3 crosses. The cross of the struggle for justice, reparations, and advancement, the cross of white supremacy and all the other people that hate our guts and Black self-hatred, and the cross of Black degeneracy and depravity. I mean, 1 cross is too much. 3, that's why we're stuck. There's too many hoops that we have to jump. Some of this stuff has to change.
Well, I tell you what, brother Dr. Short. Let me play this clip here too, because again, this is America's sweetheart here.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, well, right, Joe. Yeah, you.
Yeah, Glow.
The fuck out of here.
But you know what? I don't know. It's like he ate a fistful of Prevagens, and they're trying to make him seem cool. I mean, to me, when you had the woman thrown in jail within the last 2 weeks that had a diary showing that you molested your own daughter, no dude.
What was it like meeting?
No dude boinking his daughter and showering with his own daughter can be cool. And let me say something to you. You heard about the case of the Black girl that was going on a date with the white dude up in Wisconsin, and now they found that her body's been all chopped up. And do you know, there's a huge number of Black women defending the guy who had his own dungeon to sexually torture people. It's all of these Black ladies. They haven't even gotten a trial or any of that. And the women are saying he's innocent. And yet I'm looking at all these people 30 years later saying O.J. Simpson is black because his wife was white, his ex-wife was white, then he's guilty. But this young white boy who's on a date with this black woman who mysteriously ends up chopped up into bits, they're already saying he's honest without all the evidence being amassed. And a lot of these are black females.
Well, you know what? And see, this is part of the dilemma, sir. They listen. The old boogie white man. He don't even have to come off the bench anymore. He ain't even got to come off the bench. He could, motherfucker, could sit in the bleachers all day and just chill. And he send these folks out. This is who he sends out. But let's go ahead and play
But
her
they are the new Ku Klux Klan. I mean, they're trash.
Fair use by the Copyright Act of 1976, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Like meeting President Biden and Vice President Harris.
It was so cool. I was deep. Like, everybody don't get to meet the president and the
Everybody.
President, like, just being able to be in the White House, like I never in a million years thought I'd be in the White House. Then I was in the White House and got to meet the president and vice president. Oh, they can't mess with me. Like, I just feel like, feel me?
And he also sounded like he knew your music as well. Gloria, I want to read a part, though, of a text that your mother sent you after your visit to West. It says, quote, "I've come from being the woman with a bunch of kids living in a blue house with no real furniture in Frasier to the classiest, most beautiful, and most talented rapper of this generation's mom, who's moved on up to a beautifully furnished house. Get 'em, Glow." That is so sweet. Talk to me about what that message meant to you.
It meant everything to me because we really did come from absolute nothing. Like when we were living in that blue house with all my brothers and sisters, nobody never would have thought nobody would have been in the White House or none. So it was just a proud moment for my mama. Like, she called me so happy, like she was super excited, and that's one of the reasons that I be more happy about my accomplishments than anything else, because how proud my mom and my daddy is.
Ladies and
Hey, Chef C.
Yes, sir, brother Q.
One of the things about Glorilla, which is a very interesting name that she's tried to use, and playing on the name and going to the White House, and for whatever reason she went to the White House, and then following up with CNN, is that we could go back over 50 years when Malcolm made that famous statement about entertainers and comedians. This is not going to stop.
Come on.
It's not going to stop in our community because we have an issue in our community where we don't like to defer.
Come on, man.
We don't like to say, I'm not qualified, or I don't know enough about a particular topic. Let's go to an expert, historian, politician. That we're so quick to, nowadays, I'm going to use my platform to speak on certain issues. Not trying to be funny. Shut the fuck up. You're compromised. You can't speak on that issue.
Come on.
Because what happens is that they're in bed against the interests of Black Americans with these companies, corporations, and people. So they get on, like when he tried to get Cardi B. They used Cardi B for all the stuff. And then what happened with Cardi B?
Yeah,
She started speaking against their agenda, basically for her people. But instead, what she should have done, and what 99.9% of these celebrities, entertainers should do, is they should fund grassroots organizations that's going to be have expertise and have a real voice for our people. But instead, they thrive in attention is such an addiction that they do it. You continue. They're gonna use you, hold you out until you've done enough job for the Democratic Party.
Come on.
They're gonna send you back to the wolves. They do it time and time again. You've seen it. Stephen A. Smith he been doing all this sucking and jiving for all this time.
Come on, talk
all this stuff. Instead of saying, I'm a sports guy, I'm gonna bring somebody on my platform that's grassroots, that could speak about grassroots issues better than I. He spoke the other day on Fox News, Hannity's show, and spoke highly about Trump. So now you know what all the Democratic shill's going to do? They're going to attack Stephen A. Smith. Because it's a game that continues to go on. They know who the grassroots people are. Mainstream media knows exactly who to talk to if you want to get tangible, real results for Black Americans. But they go to these celebrities because these celebrities don't know how to defer.
Well, actually, it's not that they don't know how to defer. The real problem is that there's a big addiction, and it is called gratification addiction. Right now, we're undisciplined as a people, and every opportunity to be paid attention to be gratified, to be celebrated. Basically, it's a type of psychological masturbation to just every chance to, whether it's getting high, whether it's drinking, whether it's sex, just gratify the flesh at all times is the do it till you're satisfied. Remember that song? Come on and do it till you're satisfied. Right? Do it.
Come on.
Do it till you're satisfied. Or there's another song, don't hold back. If it feels good, do it. Don't hold back. So
That's right.
everything is pleasure. The Black community has become completely degenerate, filthy, and hedonistic. If anal sex is good, if licking an anus is good, if eating other people's semen is good, if getting your thing cut off is good, if calling yourself a woman is good, if going to an orgy is good, if doing trank, doing weed is good, if it feels good, whatever it is, if being a stud is good, if hating men is good, there's anything that pleases the flesh, do it as much as you can, constantly, without any restraint. And that's why we have high rates of syphilis, AIDS. In fact, we have super high rates of suicide because all of that crazy, dissolute living does not fill the inner man or woman. And we have all of these Black folks committing suicide, even younger and younger, suicide children with guns, because our lives are empty. Without God, we become a godless, despicable people. And I'm going to say to you, the basis of all American music is the Negro spiritual. When we had some sense, whether you're the holiest person or not, a sense that there's a God, a creator, a order, there's something to look forward to, even the life to come. These people, now all of that's, we've been emptied out. In fact, the amorality and immorality of a lot of Black folks in this hip hop mega church, take Dick's Jake world that we're in. I mean, the supremacists and the racists, all they should do is hand out condoms, lube, weed, crack pipes, and let us self-destruct. You know what? These people don't want reparations. They want masturbation nonstop. And frankly, I wish I could crazy glue people's hands to their penises and jerk themselves off till they had a stroke, because nothing else matters but being pleasured at every point. You have women going on cruises and they leave their children. I mean, just horrific things. Leave the kid in the car, 100-degree weather, just every which kind, any accountability, any responsibility, anything that demands that I'm not being pleasured, celebrated, and praised is a turnoff. And in reality, the only thing that is suited to be praised is God, and God doesn't. Or actually, you have a bunch of crazy Black people that think they're God. I mean, so you're God, but your car has been repossessed. You're God, you're homeless. You're God, you don't have $10 in the bank. You're God, you got erectile dysfunction. At least you should be able to get it up, right? And I'm not talking about praise. I mean, all of this empty, godless, shallow living has caught up with us. And you know what? It's not left to a reparations check or anything that any other group of people can do. It is a choice between going over into the abyss, into hell, or for us to pull back and say, I want out the hog pen. And right now, I don't think people really want out the hog pen. After all, mud can be quite satisfying. In fact, pigs like being in their own poop and urine and the mud because you know what? On a certain level, it satisfies their flesh because pigs can't sweat. And there's a group of black folks who like being in their own poop, urine, and waste, but in a spiritual way. And they want us all to be in a hog pen. And if you've ever been around a pig will come and rub all over you and smear dirt and poop all over you. That's if you get around pigs, pigs will bring their dookie and all with them. That's what I love about cats. The thing I absolutely love, my cat Selfish. Cats, and that's why I love cats. The thing about cats is they don't want you to see them shit. Cats hide their shit. They keep, cats are like elite white people. Even if they're dirty, they don't want you to know. Cats hide their poop.
That's a fact. God damn, that's
Cats
a fact.
hide their. I love that about cats. The thing I love about cats is that I don't have to do. I love dogs, but I always think about the fact if I deal with a dog, I have to deal with this shit. In fact, a dog is a lot like coons. A dog is a lot like self-hating, no good black people. At some point, you're going to have to deal with their bowel movement. There's no way they can keep it from you.
Well, you know what? I wanted to play that for y'all. Salute to the brother Negro in the building. Gunshot for the Negro night, ladies and gentlemen. Understand me?
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. How's everything going?
What's happening, brother Negro? You know, this is this subject matter. I wanted to touch on this before we get to the final thing. Now, this is for the Gold Sister girls. You know, I'm not hearing enough outrage for this crackhead that I'm about to pull up. They're calling her a meth head, but I'm calling her a crackhead. And in this system, in this particular system, these crackheads are allowed to go free, no matter how heinous or egregious their acts are. And in the case of this young lady here, Darsha, I believe they say her name is, she is a meth head, ladies and gentlemen. This one is a full-blown meth head.
That's a nice jumpsuit she has on.
And
can you imagine? At least it's not booty shorts jumpsuit. They're gonna probably make those. She wouldn't be able to twerk in those.
You look like a Pan-African color type of jumpsuit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Man, listen, this lady here, meth head to the flow, smothered the child. Okay.
Oh yeah, I heard about her.
Yeah.
She's a baby killer. She's a definite BK pork chop feminist. Hold on, there are a lot of pork chop feminists that kill babies.
Top flight.
I'm sorry, we got to talk about this. When they talk about black on black murder, we need to talk about black women killing black children like they're Al Capone. Or Alfreda, Alfreda Capone.
I had this in a soup pot for you. I had it in a soup pot.
Mm-hmm. And we need to say this: the main killers of children in the black community are black women. Black women butchering kids out there, and not just all the abortions, which is 6 out of 10 pregnancies. So y'all outstrip every other group of women killing the children before they get here. And my God, it's like, what's that thing? The Tet Offensive and how they kill children and abandon children. I mean, it hasn't always been this way, but I'll tell you something. That feminism and the witchcraft, like that influencer out in wherever she was that stabbed her husband to death because of the eclipse, and then threw her children out in the highway and killed herself. And I'm going to just say this, a lot of this is linked to, I'm going to just say it, there's a lot of crap that people talk about black women being more godly than black men and black women being closer to God than black men. It's a crock. There are a lot of hellish, Satanist, Luciferian, wicked, monstrous black women out here that are just as bad as the black dudes who at least get busted and get sentenced and handled for their crap. Because I'm going to tell you, in fact, I had a rap today. It's a ripoff of one of those great white poems, because, you know, white folk really have it going on. And it says, a simp just want, a simp don't want to ask hoes why. A simp just wants to screw and die. And so,
Oh wow, that leads into that other conversation too. Did you hear about that Shade Robinson chick that where she ended up screwing the wrong man and ended up really dying? For real.
Which man did she screw? And what about the
white man? The white man, and he King Henry the fifth her and beheaded her and her body parts.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the one in Wisconsin. Yeah, man, he did her like
19-year-old baby.
Well, but I'm going to just say this to you. We've been talking about this on Pat Talk, and I've been doing this on other things, saying my black sisters, I'm not trying to tell you who to be with, but I'm trying to say to you, a lot of folks that you love don't love you.
Come on.
And a whole lot of black ladies would never talk to a black dude that's slightly eccentric or nerdish, but would get with a white dude that's nerdish and eccentric. And in this instance, you have a white eccentric boy with a torture dungeon sex prison in his basement. And you could hook up with him, but you wouldn't want to be with the dude you saw reading the autobiography of Malcolm X. He has a book in his hand. And I would just tell you, they have this urban rumor that a lot of really ignorant, even in college, dumbass black ladies think that black men are smart, can't screw. So if you were smart and you did your academic work, they figured you were a dud. And then when that same dude that was a dud, if they got with a white woman or an Asian or Latino, they would call him a traitor, but they wouldn't spot him. They wouldn't date him, wouldn't even speak to him, except for when he got with a woman in another group. And I know it's like to see black women get with white men that look like Seinfeld retread, people from the bar that, you know, are just best boys walking through, like frumpy, terrible looking white men. And they could get with them. And the guys are nerds, or they can't dance, or they can't dress, but they're white. So the glorification of being with the white men comes with the cost. Are there white men that treat black women well when they get married? Yep. In fact, black women are far less likely to divorce a white man if they marry them than if they marry a black man. So I get it. But at the same time, they don't mind pooling money or financing the white dude or all of that. They give, you know, black dude's supposed to be a millionaire before she even speaks to him, right?
No,
Millionaire, right? But she can help build up a white dude, which means that the black woman being a social hermaphrodite, where she lives as a man and a woman at the same time when she's dealing with a black man, but she's willing to be a wife to a white man. And I'm not mad at her for being a wife to a white man, but I'm saying it's hypocrisy. It's a double standard. And all the while, if you think that other people don't see it, because black folks are so goofy, we're the most studied people in the world. People know all about us. They may not care, may not respect you, but they've read about you. Their books. The books may not get the whole picture, but we don't study them as much as people study us. And so there are going to be a lot more disasters, as I promised. There would be plenty of black women, and there can be a lot of black men that would do anything to be with a white female, especially if it would cost them their lives. I guess the greater threat of danger makes, I guess, the orgasm better for the simps. Lots of people who have to be in dangerous interracial liaisons will be killed. And please don't call me. And I'm thinking I have a baby father. I have, I think, a cousin whose baby father was messed with a white female and now he's dead. It happens. I'm not happy, but I don't want to get involved. If that's what you want, if our history and all these things saying you really need to be careful in general of who you get with, if you feel you can be footloose and fancy free, the same way I saw an interesting story from England, a Somali man. No, it's from Europe. A Somali man got with a European woman and realized that his family would not accept this European woman. So he beheaded her. So, a lot of these, what's that song by, let me get his name right. Wilson Pickett. He had a song, "Don't Let the Green Grass Fool Ya." Don't think just because the person is in an ethnic group that doesn't share your culture or your values, that everything will be perfect, because people are people. White men beat white women. Arab men beat Arab women. Asian men beat Asian women. Latino men definitely beat Latino women, and they cheat and they kill. And in fact, to all of my ignorant Black American women that think every other group of men are better than Black men are in a matriarchy where, in fact, which is wrong, which is why we have Pat Talk. When you're in the patriarchy, spoiled, privileged Black women, you've got way more power and influence in the Black culture over Black men than what you will have with any other group of people, including Africans and Caribbeans. Mess around with a Caribbean dude, you will get beat down. An African dude beat down and maybe even killed. There's certain cultures where it isn't wrong to kill a woman that disrespects you. There's been a spate of Black women from the diaspora going to Africa, getting with men over there and getting killed, maybe because they mouthed off and talked to them like they could talk to a man in England or America. It ain't so outside of a handful of societies. And you've been shielded. And I want to say this because our Black women, forgive me, when it comes down to doing cross-cultural analysis, most Black women suck at it. You guys are some of the most you completely lack understanding in terms of reality. And let me explain to you what I mean. I remember being in college and the same Black women that would bitch and moan. I mean, you could get them a Washington Monument size Kotex, and they could take that thing out in 5 minutes, whining and bleeding about everything. And there are not enough men in college for us, and we outnumbered them, and all this bitch talking. Okay, it's outrageous. And instead of recognizing that the Black American men and culture is the only culture that I know of in the world where there's been an overemphasis in order to protect women from sexual predation and abuse. We've educated our women to protect them from Black and white and other predators and bad jobs, and sacrifice the boys because we are in a cultural economic war with everybody. The dumbass Black woman doesn't get that. So when she's in college by herself, she's angry with Black men as if we structured this society, instead of saying, maybe someone sacrificed for me to be here. Let me be reciprocal. You get where I'm coming from? This does not happen. Instead, well, why are there so many? Do black men run the society? No. Don't you run after white men because they have more money and power? Yes. Then why would you prorate the black man based on the white man, other than you're some sort of cosmic asshole or you're a complete buffoon? I'm not excusing any faults in black men, but if he's making 60 cents to the white gentleman's dollar, you're blaming him? Why not help him get the dollar by not blowing money? Demanding you pay for my nails. I mean, basically, we have a lot of folks that think freelance prostitution is dating or courtship. You think of ways to spend and blow money instead of how to conserve and save money and build something. Instead of getting your hair done twice a week, how about starting a business where we can employ children and each other and you can make $1 to the next person's dollar? How about that? So there's this really stupid, and then what buttresses the stupid behavior from the woman? The vagina goddess worshiping simps. Shh, man, just don't say, man, I just want some pussy. I don't care. I don't care if I'm not respected. I don't care if they kill babies. I don't care I don't care. I don't care if she will. I just want some pussy. Man, I don't want a family. I can't so right. We have a lot of no good sperm dropper dudes. And they're the perfect match for these should I use my term, chef?
Of course.
These feminist UFOs. A lot of feminists are UFOs. You know what a UFO is? A UFO is an unfuckable object. Yes, I said it.
Well, sir.
Somebody that nobody should be with. You don't want to love. You don't want to cook. You don't want a mother. You don't want a wife. You don't want to save money. You don't want to cooperate. You don't want to be kind. You don't want to love. You want someone to be your slave. You don't want to have children. Everyone's just supposed to worship you and pretend that your fat rolls are beautiful, that the tattoos on your eyeballs are appealing, that this ugly Pebbles and Bam Bam weave. I mean, we talking about crackhead, Flintstone weave and stuff that you have. It's beautiful. This is insane. And by the way, notice the woman that got killed by the guy in Wisconsin. She was very presentable. She wasn't doing all that stupid ghetto trash stuff. So in other words, she kept herself pure and wholesome for the white dude that chopped her up like a bucket of chicken. And so I'm like, I'm not saying that there ain't black men out there hurting black women, but you know, the same women that go out with the dude with the killer eye tear on their cheek, they go for the guys with the gang tattoos. The guy lets you know he's a killer, and that's who you want to screw on the first date. Oh my God. And it's collectively black men's fault when some stupid woman gets with a serial killer and then she gets killed, and it's a reflection on all black men. But you know what? That white man that chopped that girl up is not a reflection on all white men. Even though when black women, as black men were chattel slaves and white men raped black women at will, that doesn't cast aspersion on white men collectively. But anything that any one black man does today casts aspersion on us collectively. This is some insane, ungodly stuff that people are on. And as I warned people, judgment's coming. And when I see, like, remember that case in Ohio where the white man in his 80s shot the black woman Uber driver? And she got set up. It's horrific. It's awful. He executed that woman. Remember, I've been saying to you, Chef, and I've been saying it to Lone Wolf and others, that you're going to see an explosion in horrific crimes committed against black women. One, they're unprotected. One, they're in a lot of places that are dangerous for a man. And like that stupid ass black woman coach that thinks that men belong in women's sports. I really wish she was a boxing coach and believe men belong in women's boxing so she could spar with the dude and him knock her head off. I mean, it's going to take that. But black women, this culture that you folks are into, where you're spoiled by the black American culture, where you get to basically do anything. You can have kids by 10, 12 different people. You can lie to it. And there's a white system that backs you. Try that with a Nigerian. Try it with an Arab. Try it with the Latino. Try it. And people will. There's a black woman somewhere where she's disappeared in Clayton County, Georgia. I suspect she's the type that messes with Latinos and now they can't find her. I'm not saying it's a Latino, but I think it could be. And you're seeing all these people, women disappearing. I've been saying they lit close to 10 million men in this country. They're going to want to screw someone. Trust me, if you've ever had a penis, ladies, no one likes having to have the thing rock hard all the time. It really is annoying. It's a drag. And at some point, if you've been hard two many in a day or a week, you're going to want to blank someone. Whether you can speak the same language, whether you can afford it, whether you know where it is, you don't want a plastic one. You want a real flesh and blood person. In fact, almost all these people coming into the country come from places where they have sex with people as young as 9, 10 years old. And it's gonna be a real trip. I don't want it happen. I care. I don't like. I hate what I see coming. But I'm saying to you, the women are protected. They're out of order. There's all the men are locked up or removed. I mean, they can't come around because you mad at them. Blah. And you got all these people everywhere. They're putting them on police forces, letting them vote, and so forth. And you're going to see a lot of strange things occur, horrific things. I'm hoping that the loss of life isn't so great that some of us can come together and figure out how we can work together and move forward. I'm not suggesting that anybody hate anybody else. I am suggesting that people respect and figure out how we can cooperate together. And just maybe people that are decent and legitimate just might find a way to cooperate. If not, and I have to say, oh, his holy name, Kevin Samuels, has shown us the way that if it can't be found here, serenity and family can be found. It's a visa or a passport away. And we will outsource those relationship jobs where they can find a more disciplined relationship labor force. It's really a choice. You know, if labor costs go too high, the businesses go someplace else. Let me stop for a second now. Bring it on, Chef. What are you thinking, sir? I talk for a second.
Well, I want to check in with the brothers real quick, but before we do that, sir, if you're not looking at the screen, we have the Honorable.
Oh yes,
Kevin Samuels, and
glory.
I will say I have to conclude in 6 minutes, but we definitely got to give him a moment of silence, sir. It is necessary.
Oh yes, he's a great helm. What a mighty guide we follow. What a mighty guide we follow. He's a great man. A great man. He even went out mounted on somebody. You know, high ho silver. Okay. Silence.
5 seconds for the Honorable Kevin Samuels.
Kevin.
Indeed.
Say it again. Kevin. One more time. Kevin. I feel all right now.
So really quickly here, I want to first salute, before we get into this last portion, because it is necessary that we shine a light on this this quote unquote victim.
Well, this killer
that they let loose.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And
because they sanctify women that kill children. It's called health care.
Right.
Killing children is health care. And frankly, the black population isn't reproducing because we have such a high rate of abortion and baby killing and family. We're not going to make it another 30 years, 20 years the way we're going. Something has to give. And again, my comment, if you can't meet a person in this culture that's willing to have form a family with you, you have our permission to travel abroad. In fact, Chef C, we need to let people know that we're going to start having patriarch summits to organize and work with people. If you're not a patriarch, if you'd like to be one, to reinforce strengthening to encourage patriarchy. We're going to bring it back. And at the same point, we're going to support.
Hey, Brother Short, real quickly, something is wrong with your mic, sir.
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's been going in and out, and as soon as you got ready to talk, it's really low. Let me see if we can adjust. I don't know. Give me a mic check, Brother Short. Give me a mic check. Mic check.
Hello.
No. What the fuck?
Let me leave. I'll come right back.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me see. I'm going to go back in.
In the eyes of the court. Let me see.
It's Shiro, brother. It's Shiro. Remember, we're in the feminist times.
She's not a Shiro.
There you are. You're good, Brother Short. Go ahead, get it off while your mic is good.
She is Hetty Kruger instead of Freddy. And killing babies is evil. And the thing about, forgive me, black men, if we weren't so ass stupid, we wouldn't have these problems in our community. We have to stigmatize the killing of babies. Murdering a baby and getting an abortion isn't cool. Okay, it has to become uncool. And we have to sanctify and change our perspective. Sex is not like urinating or taking a bowel movement. Sex is always potentially procreative, and therefore it has to be seen as spiritual and treated with respect and reverence instead of as the white word that they use, spewing, as if it's saliva. Semen and saliva are two different things. Your seed is sacred; it carries life, and we've become very hedonistic and paganistic as a people, and we pay as a consequence. Baby killing has actually been normalized. There's sisters that do TikToks and abortion clinics and so forth. They do all kinds of stuff, and I'll tell you, a lot of the stuff that black men don't like about black women, the attitudes and the meanness. People need to understand that when a woman kills a baby inside of herself, it alters her character and her nature. It does things almost on the level of being raped. And so a lot of this human records that you see out here, stupid hair, these women have killed babies. Their conduct lets you know that they've murdered a child. And to me, if you could murder my child, you could kill me. If you would murder a child, you kill a child inside of you, could kill someone outside. if that does, I mean, if it's inconsequential to you who lives or dies, you're a psychopath. You're a narcissist. You're a dangerous person. You're someone I wouldn't trust with my back turned. And so all these guys get with these women that abort babies and wonder how they could go to court and lie and coach the kids to say you raped them and take everything and destroy you. Well, hell, if they could kill a baby, why not lie on a living person in court? A woman that will abort a baby's character is very different from a woman that would not abort a baby. And a real woman wouldn't give herself to someone that they weren't committed and married to so that child would be loved. This whole thing about this whole culture of birth control and contraception, where the women are trying to be as loose with sex as men have been projected to be. In fact, a lot of these days, women have body counts, greater than the great World War II battlefields of Russia. I mean, they've got body counts like Gaza. They're outdoing the men. That has to change. And again, there has to become a godly, holy concept of sex. And in fact, the only difference between a lot of men and queers is, and a lot of them go both ways, is which hole they stick their pole in. Because there's nothing holy or sacred that they do. They don't really like the woman or care about her. They don't want her. They don't want to be a dad. They don't want to be a husband. A woman doesn't want to be a wife, doesn't want to be a mother. So in reality, people are they're having weird, strange, Luciferian sex magic liaisons. And alongside all of that is a lot of suicide, killing, rape, STDs, confusion. And it just keeps multiplying. And at some point, I want to just say to you something that I need to put out there. There are a lot of people who are thinking that all this cheap sex that they can get from the people south of the border haven't understood that things like typhoid and tuberculosis are very common diseases south of the border. And there are going to be a lot of people with tuberculosis that's incurable. You're going to see a lot of people dying because they're just whores, male whores, or I don't know, what do you call a male whore? A Moor? No. Well, sometimes. Well, all of this whoring is ultimately sterilizing people. There's so many women with pelvic inflammatory disease. In fact, they can't have children. We have a high rate of sterility, Black women. A lot of that fertility is because you had your tubes scraped all up like Benihana was up in there. You've been with all these different people, all those bacteria, that stuff is evil. That's why there's so many women that can't have children. No one talks about this. There are a lot of men who are sterile and dying from heart attacks, eating eating Viagra like it's pork and beans because you've watched so much porn, have been with so many people, or you've got cardiovascular problems, all this prostate stuff, all of this crazy behavior is destroying people. And it's interesting, the LGBTQ community, because it offends them to hear public service announcements to be reminded of the diseases that they have. There used to be public information about STDs and so forth to alert people. But now, to make these people feel better, there's almost no public information about sexually transmitted diseases and infections. So it's every year for like the last 10, 12, 15 years, the rate of STDs goes higher, higher, and higher. And so, and I've heard of and I've noticed a lot of people from other countries, there isn't a stigma to have an STD. I was talking to a friend who knew of people from West Africa who were screwing women that they knew had STDs, and they didn't care. They continued, it was pussy. And I've met people who are that reckless that they don't really care. It's the same way a lot of these hip hop people have HPV and chlamydia, and they've got herpes, and this is known. And it's interesting. It used to be something, and the words of a friend of my father who is gay, he said having STDs was proof of their virility. That's how hot I am. Proof of that is that I've got diseases. Proof that I'm getting some. And that's how a lot of people look at it. And many states have decriminalized spreading STDs, like California and Missouri, which means someone can deliberately give you AIDS and it's not a crime. And so, if that's what people want, screw who you want, do what you want, give God the finger. But one day you're going to have lead in your dick in a limp way, or you're going to have more silt in your fallopian tubes in the Nile River. And a lot of folks aren't going to be able to have children. And there are cancers and things linked to some of these STDs that you don't really hear that much about, like herpes and hepatitis C, and there's hepatitis D. I think there's hepatitis F. There's so many of these things until, and you have to understand the pharmaceutical corporations, which are very powerful and they're linked to the oil people and the agricultural people, they're making so much money off of people having sexual diseases. They don't want you to be careful. So you getting infected is a profit center, a profit point for these corporations. All the while they're telling you that you're free, and they're telling you you have a right, and they're telling you it's your lifestyle, and they're telling you it's your pronouns. And in reality, they're getting paid. Now you're going to say something because I know you have to sign off in a few.
Yeah, I was saying, first and foremost, tell them about the summits that we're going to.
Oh yes, we look forward to having patriarch summits, so we can work with patriarchs supporting each other. We're going to bring patriarchy back. The problem in Black America is the absence of fathers and fatherhood and manhood and solidarity. I really like Chef C, and it's not a gay thing. I really like Brother Robin, and it's not a gay thing. And I like Brother Juan, and I like Brother Quentin, and it's not a gay thing, but these are good brothers. We should be able to have a brotherhood where we give a damn about each other. And I don't need to haze you, and I don't need you to watch you eat horse cum and kick and burn, put out cigarettes in you for a couple of weeks and haze you, and then say I love you because you drank pig piss and we kicked you, we beat you, and you put I love you. No, I can just like you and respect you because you're a brother. We've been through enough hazing just living in this country. We're gonna do that for us. And we're going to have a sister thing because we want to encourage wazihood, wiffery. So we're going to have a female auxiliary for women that want to be wives and want to work with men to create families. And please don't bring 1 trillion babies. You're not qualified. We're looking for viable people who have not been trying to drop babies like a fraud with tadpole eggs. Okay, we're tired of that. We're looking for people that have been classy, that want to come together and try to, on a micro level, begin to create chapters of people that are patriarchs and women that want to be supportive wives or friends or colleagues would think. And we don't want dudes that beat up and abuse women. We will crush your ass if you're a misogynist. We're going to destroy you. If you're a pedophile, we're going to get you. We don't want you. We don't want any freaks. We want normal people who are willing to even do criminal background checks and so forth, because we don't want you to meet anybody, female, anything through us. And it turns out that you're some kind of monster, or you think that the shanker on your dick is a tattoo. We don't want you. We want some legitimate, decent people, thinking, caring, compassionate folks who have some concept that there's a creator and there's an order, and that women are to be loved and protected. It's not just what's in her dross, but it's what's in her mind and in her soul that counts. We need to get back to encouraging courtship, solidarity, love, and unity. And by the way, I want to say, sisters, if my words seem harsh to you, in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, it when you hear criticism, it's because of deep love and a person feeling grief over the situation that they're confronted that makes one talk like one does. I go outside and see people twerking and I'm bewildered because I remember Black women from the 60s and 70s and 80s. And I look at this thing now and just say, what happened? I grew up with Leslie Uggams, Diana Ross, Dorothy Dandridge. I don't care how they're living privately, they're public projection. Cicely Tyson, the dignity and regality of Black women. When I was a boy, when I was very young, I was checking women out when I was 4 years old. I remember one of the first things I said to a woman named Charlene Davis, this beautiful chocolate skinned woman. I told her, I remember, this is one of the first things I ever said to a woman, "You're beautiful." And she still is. She's a gorgeous woman. The women were something to behold, going to church and everything, the hats. And then I look at this Glorilla and I almost think it's a horrific, what happened to my dream of what I thought my sisters were. I wish I could undo all of this. Uh, bring bring back the woman that looks really nice. Bring back the Supremes, the 3 degrees. Bring back the glamour, the allure, the regality. And the same thing for men with your asses exposed. Uh, I- all of this, yeah, we knew James Cleveland was gay, but at least he wasn't licking on the microphone when he was singing. We've got to the point where it's a race to the bottom. Projecting the worst inside of ourselves is acceptable. That's not keeping it real, that's keeping it hellish. So we are going to have patriarchal summits. We want to have one, a small one in DC. I want Chef to meet someone, and we're going to begin to have these things. And I believe not only will we do this around manhood, if you have a business or an organization, to find ways to do for one another what men in other communities do. You can say what you want. These illegals have been here just a matter of weeks, and they've created international criminal networks all over the world. You mean we can't set up distribution and do business and commerce? And don't blame white people. Damn you, don't you blame white people. It's on us. Okay, stop blaming white people for everything. Black men, either we're going to do something for ourselves or we need to shut the hell up. Racism is real. Racists are real. But you know what? Worrying about them, thinking about them, concentrating on them isn't going to decrease the bullets in their clips or their automatic weapons and all this stuff. It's not going to take any pages out of their Turner Diary books. Either we're going to have something for ourselves or we're not. And that's what we're trying to do. And it isn't about fighting nobody else. I don't hate anybody else. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine who I guess you'd call a white female, but you know what? We have common ancestors. I've known this woman for a couple of years. Not that that means, but they're a decent person. We can work with anyone that wants to work with us, but we definitely need to learn how to work amongst the willing few of us that want to. And it's about family, commerce, dignity, solidarity. We have to do that. We have to find ways to do that. And that's what we want to do. So, Chef, let me just say to people, if you like this video, share it, like it. Like it, share it. If you want to, and I haven't done this in a while, so oh my God, I missed the donations, but that as much as I like them, I haven't done this in a long time. I haven't, like a week. I'm going to try to get back to that. There's a lot going on. Uh, but I want to thank all of you for supporting Pat Talk and Chef C. I believe that now the weather's edging out. We're going to probably get together, Brother Quentin and I. I'm going to see if I can get Brother Negro and do other things. And my health is doing better, I believe. So we thank you for your support. If you like this, you can always send a donation via Cash App to Dr. Randy Short. If you want to Zelle me or PayPal me, it's wrandyshort@gmail.com. We're going to also, around this Patriarch Summit thing, I think we're going to get some GoFundMe's up, Chef. I'm going to put one up and start looking at how we move this. And I believe we're going to have a group here in DC. And there are other things that can come from it. And so, by the way, again, I'm Dr. Randy Short at Cash App, DrRandyShort. My PayPal is wrandyshort@gmail.com, as is my Zelle, wrandyshort@gmail.com. This is the Angry Black Men's Book Club. And I want to let people know, yeah, now and then I use an expletive, but I believe in God. I'm going to continue for my fellowship. Yeah, we're Christian. I am, at least. My fellowship is called SALT. It's called Salvation. It means Salvation and Liberation Temple. And we're going to continue talking from a biblical standpoint about the Boule and Diddy as we continue. So we're probably going to drop that about 2:30. So because Sabbath, the real day that the Afro-Asiatic Hebrews recognized God, was on Sabbath, which is Saturday. Sunday is for the racist Romans who gave us white Jesus, although y'all respect white Jesus more than the black one that we have today. So I'm going to stop there. Chef, it's up to you.
Well, listen, again, as he mentioned, we will begin to roll out the Patriarch Summit and some of our smaller
Patriarch
occasions. I want everybody to be aware that they're going to be between the tri-state area all the way out to DC. We have a couple other places that we will be bringing on board, so definitely y'all be on the lookout for the information coming in the next 2 weeks. Let you know how you can get involved, how you can contribute, and where we're going to be holding these different events. And listen, ultimately, it is not just one of those situations where you're going to be gathering and a whole bunch of niggas be talking some shit. No. There's going to be value here.
And we'll be
Real
talking
tangible
about health, business, family, resources, whatever we can figure out to make certain that it's of value. I don't like to waste people's time. And again, if you're interested, my email is wrandyshort@gmail.com. We want to begin to get a list of people that support patriarchy. And patriarchy does not mean mistreating women. It means protecting, dignifying manhood, childhood, and womanhood. Men leading in strategic cooperative partnership with women and with the generations to come. Again, we abhor violence and abuse of women. I think rapists and men that abuse women should be hung. That's just my gut feeling. I hate it completely. At the same time, I think a woman that falsely accuses a man should be thrown in jail for at least 10 years. At least. I believe the laws need to be more fair for fathers. I believe that a man that puts his hand on a woman, unless she's thrown the first punch, and even if he's done that, a real man knows how to get the hell away from a crazy woman. We want things right. I don't want a situation like The Color Purple. I hate the movie. I have family like the characters in The Color Purple movie. I get the point, but all of us aren't like that. I hate abuse of women. I hate sex trafficking. I hate rape, exploitation, and pedophilia. We all want to shut that down. At the same point, we hate feminism. It's going to go in our lifetime. If you're down for a fight to destroy toxic pork chop feminism and this baby killing culture that they have, then you found the right people. We're down for a fight for the soul of our people. Any more, Chef?
You know what? And I gotta say, this is gentlemen, you will have value. We are looking for the fathers, the sons, the uncles, and the nephews.
And they can bring young people, but they have to have a legal guard and a chaperone. We hate pedophilia. We're gonna fight you, predators. Predators. There'll be a day where folks who prey on children and all, if you do something, you'll run to the police station before we find you. A day will come when the pedophiles will be punished. The molestation, abuse, and this garbage that's out of control, we're going to smash it. Who's with me?
Absolutely. And you know what? Before we even go a little bit further, Brother Lone Wolf Juan J. Johnson has just checked in to the community kitchen, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Lone Wolf. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's the word, Brother Juan J. Johnson?
Greetings first to all the brothers, the panel, Chef, Dr. Short. Let's talk. Just all those are listening. It's good to be here, Chef. I finally had that. Finally got that root canal today.
Oh, okay, understood. So that howl is more like a instead of a.
It was more like a. But I just wanted to come on board and just back up and support the brothers is what we're trying to do.
And we're recruiting you. We're gonna have Pat Talk has our own munitions and weapons expert. Everybody that works with us is going to have access to someone to show them how to protect themselves and their family. A real patriarch loves so much, he knows how to take someone threatening a family out of here.
Yeah, I think, Dr. Short, that has been the missing ingredient for decades. We've been on a constant, consistent diet of domestication of black males. Emasculation, castration, and I can put it all at the feet of the preachers. I mean, they're so crazy, they're so weak, that even Jesus told them, I'm about to leave you guys, and I need you guys to get a purse, a script, and get you a sword. They rarely talk about that scripture, the sword. But it's a new day. I'm encouraging everybody on the sound of my voice to get you a sword, which is a 21st century Glock, Smith & Wesson, 38 Special, assault rifle, shotgun, and thousands of ammunition. Because we just can't keep having these conversations, these beatings and greetings, and we're retreating to advance the cause. Again, history, as Malcolm said, history is best reported to those who research, and we did the research, and the results are in. We got too many weak males out here. So I'm pushing this thing. I'm pushing this gun piece because at the end of the day, if I can get you to have a basic understanding of the firearm, how to defend yourself, how to defend your family, how to defend your friends, how to defend your community, how to defend your city, and possibly defend this nation, because when they come, because they're going to come, they're not going to ask you Are you with us? They're going to say, there's one. There's one.
Come on.
So again, I salute you, Dr. Short, and all the brothers on board and the sisters that I know what time it is. And I'm looking forward to training and directing you to folks who can even teach you better than me. I just want to just give you an intro. I want to get you with your palates.
And we've got trainers on both coasts, East and West Coast.
That's true. That's
so
true.
we have trainers on both coasts. And not just that, we've got people that do farming and growing. We are looking to network and bring people together to do the practical. We're even looking at everything from working with people to learn about what's called it's called health sharing, where ways to get access to at least some degree of medical care that is less than what people might otherwise get. Secondary, we're looking at practical ways that we can help people as well as networking folks. And the hope is ultimately to form a network where we have a doctor, a lawyer, a CPA, and we have these by communities that you could find people. When you have a problem, you can pick up a phone.
And firearm instructors too.
Firearm instructors, you have all of it. And if you're spiritual, we can make certain that you don't have nigger preachers that just want to steal your money. We're looking at creating collectives of people that can work together around practical solutions. If a person wants to establish a business or wants to find a way to get a grant or needs to get a tax done or learn how to do taxes or want to do this, we're trying to figure out how to bring a collective of people together that do what everybody else has done. The greatest crime of our traitor Black elite, and you cannot blame white people, it's traitor Black people that have allowed us to be like this. They don't want to compete with their own. The same way the bigoted people don't want to compete with us. 1 in 6 Blacks is doing very well in this country. They're hoarding all the wealth that the government gives to them. They demand in the name of all of us, and they only share with themselves. They have deliberately done everything they could to make the rest of us poor. So they collude with the supremacists. The biggest problem isn't the supremacists. The biggest problem is the traitors within our ranks. Some traitors are male, some are female, some are old, some are young, many are boomers. Our criminals are subversive traitors. We have to create a culture of self-protection, self-respect, and self-preservation, and we deal with subversives, whether they're white collar or no collar. It must happen.
That's a fact, Brother Short. And I'm going to tell you something. Ladies and gentlemen, just be on the lookout for that. We have one tentative. We were hoping to shoot for July, but this one is going to probably be moved to August. But there's going to be one that's on a smaller scale prior to that. So be on the lookout. Me and Brother Dr. Short.
And we're going to try to do it in June. Hopefully,
we'll let you guys know.
We want to do it we're going to make Juneteenth. We're gonna do something with it. Let me let you guys go. I know you gotta go, Chef.
Indeed. But hold on, Brother Dr. Short. I need to touch on this piece real quick, and then we're gonna get out of here. This Indianapolis mom. I'm gonna read off of this real quickly here, especially now that we got the wolf in the building. This murderous meth head. Mm-hmm. The murderous meth head. I don't think there could be a better word for her.
She looks like Dick Van Dyke trying to be a black woman.
So check this out. This article is coming from Fox 11, ladies and gentlemen. Indianapolis woman was allowed to walk out of jail after admitting she was high on drugs when she smothered her baby to death. Dorcia Lacey was charged with neglect of a dependent resulting in the death of the 2-month-old daughter, Alona Lacey. Lacey was arrested months after her daughter died in August 2022. On Wednesday, a judge ruled, this past Wednesday, y'all, so a judge ruled the mother was not guilty of alleged crime. Local media reported on Judge Mark Stoner's explanation for the decision. Okay, Mark Stoner delivered a verdict about 3 p.m. in the bench trial of Dorsey Live. The mother is charged with causing the death of her 2-month-old daughter. The prosecution says she smothered her baby. The defense says this was a SUDI. Here we go with the bullshit. Okay, not guilty though. The judge verdict was not guilty of neglect of the dependent, resulting in death for the of the 2-month-old daughter. Judge says she had been guilty of involuntary manslaughter, but that is not what she was charged with. Okay, let's go on down. Not everything that's a mistake or everything that is wrong is criminal. The judge says, according to WVL. Something has to be done with criminal intent, criminal responsibility, and that's what the defendant is charged with. When the state chooses to charge an individual, they must prove they did something with criminal intent. Poor parenting, by definition, is not criminal.
Okay.
That is treasonous.
Well, anyhow, is that a black male judge?
It can't be, sir. I'm looking for the judge. I'm trying to bring his pick up, but that's Stoner. That's got to be a white guy.
Okay, but what he's really saying is, sisters, kill those black bastards.
Yeah, get them out of there. Get them out of there. Do the work that we got you out there.
She's a freedom fighter killing black babies.
But let's keep on going. During Lacey's bench trial. Hello?
Yeah, brother Chef. Can I say something? You know what this case reminds me of? Remember Natasha Harlan, or whoever that white woman that killed her kids and got away? This seems like Lysandra's emphysema.
Latasha Harlins was the person that was murdered. Are you talking about that white woman down in Texas named Yates that drowned her 5 kids?
Yates.
Please get the names right. Get the names right. Okay. Yates.
Sorry, Bob.
And they let her go. She killed 5 children. She acted like she was crazy and called one baby Jonah, and she was just drowning him. But you have to understand that women killing children is not a harshly punished crime. The image of a child killer is a man, but most of the people that kill children are women. People act like women can't kill. I have a pussy. I wouldn't hurt anybody. Bullshit. There are a lot of people with pussies that hurt people. Just because pussy feels good doesn't mean that the person with the pussy is good.
Come on. Well, let's keep on going here, brother. During Lacey's bench trial, a child abuse detective with the Indianapolis police detective testified that Lacey admitted to smothering her baby.
Mm-hmm.
Admitted to it.
Damn right, I killed that bastard.
Right, come on.
You know why? You know what? Just, bitch, I'm not buying you no infant formula. I need another rock. And the baby said, nah. And she choked that baby out. Shit, I'm gonna get a rock. I mean, you know what? I need some Enfamil too, and my pusher's gonna give me mine. And it's not in the can, and I'm you're not gonna stop me, bitch. I'll choke you out. They kill a child just as sure as they would drink a Diet Coke.
Is it a black male child? That's what I want.
No, it's a black female child. But you know what? But if she hated the father, it doesn't matter the sex. Although they'll kill boys more than girls, they'll kill the girl if the father liked her. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of, but again, we've got to be We have to stop, and this has to stop in Black culture. Think if you have a vagina, you're a good person.
Come on.
You may have a good vagina, but you're not a good person. Just because you're greasy doesn't mean you're easy.
Come on. Listen, according to WTHR, the lead detective on the case said she was actually sitting in my lap crying on my shoulder and had said that she did her baby wrong and said that she had smothered her baby. Basically, she said that she was high and she was tired and Alonely had been crying. Ultimately, she ended up picking up Alonely and facing her toward the crease in the couch. So if you have the back of the couch and then the seating area, she placed her face toward the crease.
She wasn't high. She was conscious of what she was doing. The high is the alibi. She's a murderer. She's a cold-blooded baby killer. And there are a lot of them. Go ahead, keep going.
A toxicology report proved Laci was high on methamphetamine the day Alonely died. The baby's cause of death was undetermined according to an autopsy report. Court documents filed in Marion County indicated the court also terminated 4 no contact orders that were filed against Laci. So this brings in our brother Lone Wolf. Bullshit investigation. Okay, and not even an investigation. This is just a pure cover-up. This is one other black-looking baby out the way. That's one less little nigga child we got to worry about. That's the energy I'm getting from here, brother. What are you hearing from this, brother Lone Wolf? Because that's what I'm getting.
So, from the legal perspective, there's 2 types of intents. You got general intent, and you got specific intent. And it all determines on what the attorneys, the charging documents of the attorneys. I need to see the charging documents. What are they charging with? Because, again, from how you described it, what you read, it's coming on like a manslaughter, meaning somebody who wasn't in their right state of mind because they're under some type of influence, whether it's drugs, alcohol, and the crime was committed. Because even let me say this thing right. Again, I need to find out what was the charging document. What do they charge it with? Because if the prosecutor don't bring the right charging documents, then your case is done. If they went for the murder piece in lieu of the manslaughter piece, because if murder's on the table, not manslaughter, you got to prove murder. Normally the murders are very, very specific. Like a manslaughter is very general. A person get into a car, they leave a club, they drunk and they have an accident and somebody gets killed. That's not specific. That's general.
Okay.
So from the legal aspect of it, I can see possibly why they did what they did. But she could live with that because, again, it's probably not the first time she's been in that situation.
It's probably not the first baby she killed.
Yeah.
These people kill, and killing children is okay. In fact, they probably were able to sell the organs out of that baby. That's probably the deal. Well, if you sign over organs, the judge will go light on you. Yes, they do stuff like that. Oh, yeah, they do.
Hey, brother Lone Wolf.
Yes, sir.
The issue that when I did some research on the article on this case, and because of how it's done with that charging document, and even the judge said it in his decision, she was charged with manslaughter. She actually should have been charged with involuntary manslaughter with diminished capacity. because she was under the influence when she committed this crime.
So they believe.
Now the prosecutor.
Hold it. She used drugs that day, but they can't prove the exact time she was high in that day when the baby was killed. Maybe
the prosecutor messed this case up.
She probably got high to celebrate after she killed the baby.
And with those prior incidences, it really would have been a slam dunk case for involuntary manslaughter. But because the prosecutor, and this is what they do, they overcharged her with manslaughter, knowing that manslaughter and murder is very strict and it's a very fine line. Knowing that the judge is there to. It was a trial by judge. So based on the evidence in the charge, it did not fit the criteria for that specific charge. And that comes from the prosecutor being inept. Yeah. If the prosecutor was smart before they even got the indictment, what they would have done and what they do to a lot of us when we get in these situations is they overcharge us. Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like what they did with the Freddie Gray thing in Baltimore. The little the little high yellow black prosecutor that wanted to get the police off for killing him.
Exactly. And they do that, Dr. Short, and everybody in the chat and everybody on the panel. It's a tactic that prosecutors use where it's a statement. You can indict a ham sandwich.
Right, but
they know you'll get an indictment, but they ain't really trying to get a conviction.
Was the prosecutor a black woman?
That I don't know offhand.
Because if
they didn't make a statement, Dr. Short, they didn't make a statement after she was found not guilty.
Okay, then maybe it was a pork chop feminist that wanted to show solidarity with baby killing. You guys need to understand. I'm gonna say this out here. Do you know there are a lot of women that think that because they see being a mother as giving them the right to give life or to kill. They have a right to kill babies because they bore them, as if the child is a chattel or property. These same women complain about men seeing women as property, but these women themselves, where they have power, see children as property, and that they have the right to kill that child because it's theirs. It's interesting, all this preaching about how men are and patriarchy and how men don't do this and men don't, the women are no damn different. It's a human thing. It's a right and wrong thing. It's a power thing. And these women feel they have the right to kill. They have the right to kill the baby in their womb. They have the right to kill the baby afterwards. And let us just remember, there was a big movement right up in New York for even after a baby is born, if the mother wants the baby killed, they will kill the baby for the mother. They were fighting to do that. All the women say kill the baby, even if the father can't say anything. And they are playing on the way that they've gotten women to cheapen the value of life of children. And what these ladies don't realize is once you destroy the whole concept of women being folks who bear and bring children into the world, and once you make it seem as if men can have babies and women can have babies, then you take away the sense that women need to be protected. And therefore, you open women up to getting the worst treatment from men that prey on women who typically, to some degree, women have been protected from men by men. You give women all these immunities and things that seem like freedoms, and you open it up for the men that hate women to ride terror and hell on women. And the women are cutting their own throats with this stupid Luciferian feminism.
Well, you know what? Listen, man, I definitely deemed it necessary to touch on this. I mean, I'm just not hearing enough outrage from the sisterhood about
You're
this
not,
one.
because women have the right to kill children. I don't want to have his effing baby. Baby, it's my life. It's, as a woman told me, a baby was like an ingrown toenail or like a polyp, or like a cancer. And I would just say this to you, and ladies, I don't care how you take it. There's something really wrong with American women that they have to see a baby on an ultrasound to believe it's real. So you're vomiting and you've got this big thing, and a woman's still thinking about killing a baby. And then when they see the baby in the ultrasound, oh, it's a baby. Have you ever talked to people about abortion clinics and the women, after they've had the abortion, the baby comes out, oh, it's a baby. And I'm thinking, damn, what did you think it was? A hamster? What do you think that was? A bowel movement or a beer
Right.
belly? There's been such a disconnect between sex and procreation until these women don't really think it's a child unless they see it moving around, which is why in a lot of places they don't want to have ultrasound machines, because if women see the baby, they may not want to kill it. So you try to tell the women that it's not a baby. That's why they use the term fetus. And fetus is Latin for baby. And abort means to kill. Abort a fetus means kill a baby. But it's abortion doesn't mean killing. And a fetus isn't a baby. And all of us, and why don't you respect women? And they start making a thing about women and respect and the life of the mother. When Black women die in childbirth disproportionately all over the country, no one gives a damn. They kill Black women trying to have babies, but when it comes to, oh, we want to save the life of the mother, in reality, they want to kill the child. Let's just do it.
Well,
In particular, killing Black babies has always been a big thing in this country, going all the way back to the Constitutional Convention, where they agreed we didn't want this country to be too Black, that they would stop importing people from Africa in 1808. That's been 216 years. They've not wanted there to be too many Black people in this country. And it's been 108 years since Margaret Sanger started the American Birth Control League. And it has been 84 years since she started the Negro Project to wipe out Black people, with the support of Black Greek letter organizations, Black churches, and others, to kill off Black people as human weeds. There is an agreement between the successful elite Black people and the killing of Black children.
well, listen, sir, really quickly, gentlemen. I got one last clip, and then we're going to get ready to get up out of here. But you know what? It's interesting you say you bring up Margaret Sanger, sir. And you know, they got a female that's running around here by the name of a Megan Thee Stallion.
Well, what about Kamala Harris, the abortion queen? She can't do shit at the border, but she's out everywhere pushing baby killing.
These are all Emily List graduates right there that you're speaking of. These are all Emily List women.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, check this out, gentlemen. Let's play the clip. This is the Planned Parenthood Gala. So yeah, let's check it out.
We need to create communities where women can receive sexual and reproductive health care with the love, respect, and compassion that they deserve. I promise to continue to do my part and use my platform to break down barriers and empower women all around the world.
So yeah, this is her receiving an award.
They always give deviant Black women awards. It's funny, Black women must think that they're the ugliest creatures ever invented, that they have to constantly do debased and debauched, stupid things to get attention. That's a sad-ass place to be. If you wonder why certain Black men prefer women in other groups, sisters, there are a lot of sick Black women that don't have any dignity, no integrity. They're so starved for attention and affirmation, need to be praised and worshiped all the time. And there's never enough, because in reality, they feel ugly no matter how much weave they use, no matter how big the eyelashes, no matter how big the butt lift, no matter how much people worship and tell them how great. It never makes them feel good because deep down inside, they feel like they're black, ugly, and unwanted. And I'm going to tell you the only thing that brings contentment is a relationship with God. And for all of these liars that say women are more spiritual because they can be more emotional when they're in their place called a church, it's crap because those same religious women are screwing all the men in prison, all the gangsters, making babies more wicked than themselves and the fathers. To me,
Right.
if there was some holiness among women, there'd be outrage to all the babies being killed. In particular, Black American women should be in the forefront speaking out against eugenics and the sterilization and the destruction. They sterilized Black women in prison. There was no advocacy whatsoever from any of the Black women organizations in the country. There was no advocacy around protecting pregnant women in prison having children. It did not come from Black women's organizations. Black women's organizations exist to help kill black people and to help selfish elitist society bitches be the center of attention while they do nothing for the people. That's what they exist for. Tell the hoes to prove me wrong. Show me a school district where Black kids learn. Show me an area where there's prenatal care equitably distributed to Black women. Show me where there's success in fighting drug abuse and addiction. Show me all these goddamn loudmouth Black women organizations, and not a goddamn bit of change in the last 60 years. Says it's about people showing up in galas. They're little nasty society bitches. They go to a big rich white motel, and all the money is spent lavished on each other. They're not helping the poor Black women. They're not fighting for increased wages for Black women in the low paying jobs or health access. They're out there trying to grab for themselves. It's a goddamn disgrace. Remember when Maxine Waters was confronted by Black homeless people and she told them to go home when they didn't have homes? But you know what? These illegals that have come to California, Maxine Waters and them have helped find housing for the illegals. This is what Black women organizations only push: the destruction of Black poor and marginal people and the aggrandizement of Black celebrities and elites. It does nothing for the grassroots Black women. It does nothing. Black women are raped in prisons all over this country. Black women are disproportionately raped in the armed services. Have you seen one of those bitches in the Congressional Black Caucus do something about it? No, they're not going to. Because I'll tell you something. Women are never the leaders of the people. Men are. Black women imagine themselves to have dicks and to be leaders. It's delusional. It's the psychopathy of Black feminism, and it's killing us.
Facts.
Gentlemen, on that note, we're going to be closing it down.
Yeah,
So I'm
close
gonna
it
go to
down,
Brother
brother. I'm
Negro.
tired. I need to
Brother
sleep.
Negro Knight, you got the floor, brother. Let them know about your platform, some of the initiatives you got going. You got the floor, Brother Negro, if you're there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to say thank you, Dr. Randall Short. Thank you, Brother Chef, as always, and the other brothers here. The Negro Black Knights Heritage Club, we're working on several different projects. One of them is that degenerate show, Bad Times. We're definitely going to go forward and put a lawsuit against them.
It should be called Fag Times.
Yes, that treacherous treasonous show, built by tethers. You guys are going to be called out, man. Like, you guys cannot be tainting the image of our people and our legacy and not be unmatched or unchallenged, you know? It's just the reality of these creations that people create to make a mockery of our people. So that's one of the projects that I'm working on. School-wise, honor society, and investigation. So like definitely, I would love to compare notes. And one of the things that when you brought up that thing, I looked at it from a fraud perspective. This is what I mean by from the judge perspective, how he was operating in a fraudulent manner. And what I mean is that when you look at the fraud triangle, there's three aspects that you can look at. One is called the opportunity, motive, and the rationale. What was the rationale of letting that woman go? What was his motive? And what was the opportunity? Those are the things that we need to be looking at some of these criminals that are perpetuating genocide on our people and have the hero part trials with the Negro editions. I definitely want to put them on the stick because they definitely are perpetuating genocide against our people.
Hey,
Thank you, Chef, for bringing it to our attention. Salute as always.
Chef, I want to mention one thing. I've been invited to be a speaker for the Reparations Rally 2 at Juneteenth.
Oh, Brother Chef, his mic went out. Dr. Short, your mic went out because it went low. Just heads up.
Yeah, my mic went off. Can y'all hear me?
They playing with your mic, big brother.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, guys, this is craziness. They mess with our mic. Let me go back in and try this again. Let's try it again. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello.
We can hear you, Dr. Short.
Okay, let me just say this because the question was asked by Stanley Harris. I've been asked if I am going to be at the June 15th rally for reparations being thrown by Brother Tariq Nasheed. I've been invited to speak. I anticipate being there. I hope I get to talk longer than I did last time. I didn't get to say as much. So I hope this time I get to be unfiltered and say what needs to be said. So thus far, I am willing to go. I will confirm this week with Tariq Nasheed about me being there. I am on the flyer. He talked to me. I said I was open. I will officially confirm, and I'm going to have a GoFundMe because I want to have a Pat Talk event on the 15th of June. We want to make certain that alongside reparations is the repair of the Black family, Black manhood, Black womanhood, Black familyhood. So I will be there. Please support. Look forward to seeing me promote my GoFundMe, which will be used in part for me to one, push all the activities. So thank you. That's it, Chef. I know we've got to go. So I'm out of that. So I will try to be there. So that's right. June 15th, there will be a rally for reparations. I anticipate being there. It's here in Washington. And we may even do other activities. It look at what we can do. So I hope that people can come. I hope that we network and do what we need to do. There's a lot to be done. So let me stop here. I am, I don't know, sleepy. It's been cold here. It was hot. Now it's cold. Now I'm sleepy. And again, please support this channel. I will be back in and putting all the stuff that I need to do as well. I'm going to be putting out information because I am promoting, like through a business I'm doing from home, selling services because we got to be entrepreneurial. And I'm trying to make certain I have a home business so I can just stay at home and do a range of things to both bring a few bucks in, but as well as offer things that help people. So I'll be sending information out. Thank you. Much love to everybody. You always know how to dash me. I love the support, everything that people can do. You know, I have a GoFundMe, which is Dr. Randy Short. Actually, not a GoFundMe, but a Patreon, which is Dr. Randy Short. I have, of course, Cash App, which is Dr. Randy Short. And I have, again, PayPal and Zelle, which is wrandyshort@gmail.com. And if you ever want to reach me, you may email me. I've got to work on a way to be more interactive. We've been thinking about this so we can communicate as we do a live. I have to work on that. Anybody that's super tech savvy, definitely input. There are things that I need to do to improve this. I know I'm not a tech person. All right, let me let you guys go. It's been a long night for some of us. And I hope to God that health and everything is optimal so we can go back to what I miss with your books. I mean, I've been getting them, going through them. So God bless you. Shalom to all of you that celebrate Sabbath. Again, I want to remind you about 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll be doing Salt Ministry. I'm going to continue my series. And I'll be talking about basically prodigality and the decline of Black people. And there's a song, if we ever needed the Lord before, we sure do need him now. We need God. The dollar's dying. We're looking at a potential world war. We absolutely, 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 absolutely need prayer, God, all of that, because we in trouble. Angry Black Man, you can email me again, wrandyshort@gmail.com. I do respond to people. I do not want to be famous. I want to be effective. In particular, I'm looking for people in the DC, Baltimore area to network with as we're trying to put together some things. Some stuff I'm going to tell folks offline that I can't say, but I look forward to that. So, Angry Black Man, call me, email me, something. Again, I'm Dr. Randy Short, Dr. Randy Short is a Cash App, wrandyshort@gmail.com is a PayPal and the Zelle. wrandyshort@gmail.com is also my personal email, and I respond to people. I don't blow people off. I do not wish to be famous. I want to be influential and effective. If I get famous, which is weird, I like fortune. Fame is very frightening to me. God bless. And Judah, I know who you are. Just write me. Just write me. Pray for Black America's salvation. We're in damn trouble. And this just can't be blamed on white people. We've got to clean this damn mess up we've got. And the time is very limited. I'll see you if you want to join me at SALT. I'll be on all the different channels, Angry Black Men's Book Club, Dr. Randy Short, and SALT. We'll be blasting this out. I'll send out a card. This last transmission here, I was just tired. My mom wasn't feeling well, so I didn't get around to letting you know about this, but I'll try to get this thing in order. Please pardon me. I thank you for your prayers. I was sick as a dog. Stay away from places where lots of people have been vaxxed. They shed and they make you sick. May the Lord bless and keep you, and may his face shine upon you and give you peace. I'm out of here. I'm gone, guys. I'm logging off on these different channels. But just to keep them from like lying about the numbers, I just keep I keep a record of it. Wow, I did 200.